Hey, this is Jeremy, and it's time to talk about The Secret Agent. Okay, I saw The Secret Agent this weekend, and no surprise, I loved it. It is directed by, let me just make sure that I pronounce this correctly, Kleber Mendonça Filho. Kleber Mendonça Filho. And it stars Wagner Moura, who we love. I absolutely loved his performance in Civil War, which that was last year or the year before. That's the only person that I knew in the cast, except for Udo Kier, who recently died. This German actor. I was so shocked to see him in this movie, but there he was. So this is a Brazilian movie taking place in the 70s. So kind of like I'm Still Here last year, which was one of my favorite movies of the year and happens to be the most viewed review on my YouTube channel. Something crazy like 20,000 views. So in both of those movies, we get that kind of like 70s yellowish kind of tint. Everybody looks sweaty. Like it just looks so rich and amazing. And the story's kind of simple, but the way that they explore it is very original. So Wagner Moura plays this researcher, scientist. Something happens with people that were funding the place that he worked at, and then he has to go into the like witness protection program. And then once he's in that program, he finds out that two people have been paid to come and kill him. So he's on the run trying to get his shit in order to leave the country. The film is split up into 3 different parts with like names that are kind of like weird. You don't know exactly what it means for the story. And then you find out that it's kind of like this small thing within this bigger segment. What's fun about this movie and what was also present in I'm Still Here last year is the kind of specificity of things. Like everything feels so lived in, and you see all these like things happening that are so specific and so kind of original, but that just it makes everything feel more real because there's all these like specific touches to the country, the time period, the people. So I find that like a lot of American movies and obviously all the shit that gets produced on Netflix like is missing all of that. But this is something that I love. And obviously I haven't seen many Brazilian movies in my life. But I think after these 2 movies, I'm Still Here and this one, I think I need to dive deeper into that. And especially, I'm guessing, movies that take place in the 70s or movies from the actual 70s in Brazil. So yeah, and I think I mentioned earlier, like everyone looks like it's hot and everyone is sweaty. And I feel like in contemporary movies, like people don't sweat. Like you'll see someone like running and like this big action sequence and then they're like completely dry, which always kind of takes me out of the movie. Like none of this just happened because this person's not sweating. But in this movie, people sweat, which is great. Yeah, there's all these, every actor, even in like small roles, is so original. They're like characters, and even if they don't say much or the very little impact on the story, you feel like they're real and they exist, and you kind of know what they're about just by the way that they're dressed or they say stuff or that they act or the way that they look at people. I think it was an amazing touch, especially like the old lady that runs kind of the house where he takes cover. She is hilarious. I don't know if that's like a famous person in Brazil, but her character's name is Donna. For some reason, I can't find her in the credits. Anyway, she's amazing. And then there's all these different kind of side things happening, and the editing of certain sequence was completely like different from the rest. And then there's even towards the end, there's this segment where something gets covered in the news and then everybody's kind of thinking about what's happening. So people start to kind of imagine what's happening with this certain thing. I don't want to say too much, but it's like a body part, and then there's this weird like imaginary thing that happens with this body part that's just, it's edited so great and it's so different. Even in the beginning, like sometimes there's split screens and like it's just such a nice touch to have like these different moments and these different rhythms to different sections of the movie. So it always feels like fresh because the movie's like 2.5 hours. It goes by really quickly because there's always like it's such a fun, especially in a theater. Like it was just so fun to experience that together with the crowd. The music is also great. There's this one scene where there's this scene and then it cuts to another scene and it's just black and you just see like this car from behind going somewhere. You don't know who it is, where they're going, but there's this Donna Summer song playing over it and it's completely hypnotic. It's kind of like giving David Lynch. It's super weird, but like that was an amazing touch that feels different from the rest of the movie. What else did I take down? Yeah, transitions. There's an animal in the house where Wagner Moura lives that I don't know if it's a real animal or if it's like CGI, but it's correct. I've never seen anything like that in a movie, let alone in real life. So I won't say what it is because it's a nice surprise in the movie. And yeah, I loved it. I gave this movie 4.5 stars on Letterboxd. Another Brazilian masterpiece. Can't wait to see what happens during the awards season. The Golden Globe nominations were yesterday, and the movie got nominated a bunch of categories, and including Wagner Moura for Best Actor. I have a feeling that's going to happen again at the Oscars. He will for sure be nominated. I think The Secret Agent will be nominated in Best International Feature, which it might win, and then I'm pretty sure it will also be nominated in Best Picture. And who knows, like, I would love it if the script got nominated, the director, like cinematographer, costume design, production design. Like, I would nominate this movie across the board. I cannot wait to see it again, and I don't say that often, but I really want to watch it again. I'm telling everybody to go see it because it's amazing. And yeah, I'm so glad that I didn't wait to watch this at home, that I went to the theater. And yeah, it just came out, so I'm excited to see like more people watch it because I think this premiered at Cannes earlier this year, so now more people are going to see it, and I can't wait to have those conversations with people. A political thriller set in the 70s in Brazil, starring Wagner Moura, who's so hot. What else can you ask for? You need to go see The Secret Agent. See ya.